In the U.S. state of Virginia, Interstate 64 runs east-west through the middle of the state from West Virginia to the Hampton Roads region, a total of 298 miles. It is notable for crossing the mouth of the harbor of Hampton Roads on the Hampton Roads Bridge-Tunnel, the first bridge tunnel to incorporate artificial islands. Also noteworthy is a section through Rockfish Gap, a wind gap in the Blue Ridge Mountains, which was equipped with an innovative system of airport-style runway lighting embedded into the pavement to aid motorists during periods of poor visibility due to fog or other conditions. Route description: Allegheny County to Charlottesville. I-64 enters Virginia as a 4-lane divided highway, continuing its concurrency with U.S. 60 through Covington into Lexington, where the two routes split. From Lexington, I-64 then turns northward to Staunton, overlapping Interstate 81 in the Shenandoah Valley. From Staunton, I-64 leaves I-81 and passes through Waynesboro and crosses Rockfish Gap and continues eastward, passing just to the south of Charlottesville, closely following the path of the historic colonial-era three-notched road, which had been established in the colony of Virginia by the 1730s, and was largely replaced in the 1930s by U.S. Route 250. Just outside of Charlottesville in Zion Crossroads, I-64 received the state's first diverging diamond interchange at its interchange with US 15, which opened to traffic on February 21, 2014, and completed on April 15, 2014. Greater Richmond and the Virginia Peninsula. After Charlottesville, I-64 then turns more east-southeasterly and heads towards Richmond, passing through Fluvanna, Goochland and Louisa counties. After entering Henrico County and the Richmond metro area, Interstate 64 interchanges and overlaps with Interstate 95 on a stretch of highway which was a part of the former Richmond-Petersburg Turnpike, passing near downtown Richmond and through the historic African-American neighborhood of Jackson Ward. Once on the south side of downtown Richmond, I-64 diverges from its concurrency with I-95 and continues southeasterly down the Virginia Peninsula through New Kent County and the historic Triangle, into Newport News. This portion of I-64 was set up by VDOT with a contraflow lane reversal system in place in the event of a mass evacuation of the Hampton Roads area region due to a hurricane or other catastrophic event. Hurricane gates are installed at eastbound Interstate 64 entrance and exit ramps from exit 200 to exit 273, and crossover roads are in place near the aforementioned exits. To date, there has never been an activation of the contraflow system in any capacity. Hampton Roads Beltway. Shortly after entering its interchange with Denby Boulevard, I-64 enters Metro Hampton Roads and widens out to an 8-lane divided highway, continuing generally south-southeasterly into Hampton, where it meets the northern terminus of Interstate 664, beginning the inner loop of the Hampton Roads Beltway. I-64 curves north-northeast to pass north of downtown Hampton and cross the Hampton River, turning back southward to reach the Hampton Roads Bridge-Tunnel, which it utilizes to cross the main shipping channel at the entrance to the harbor of Hampton Roads from the Chesapeake Bay. Once on the south side, I-64 turns south through Norfolk, passing the eastern boundary of Naval Station Norfolk and Chambers Field, and the spur routes applying it, Interstate 564. It then becomes a 6-lane divided highway with a 2-lane reversible roadway in the middle, which is used for HOV traffic during morning and afternoon rush hours. It continues through Norfolk, curving multiple times and eventually ending up heading due south as it passes the interchange with another of its spur routes, Interstate 264, on the northwest side of Virginia Beach as it heads into Chesapeake. After entering Chesapeake, I-64 actually turns west-southwesterly. It is actually at this point when the road stops being signed as either east or west and is only signed with its beltway designation of inner or outer loop. After interchanging with another of its spur routes, Interstate 464, I-64 then crosses the southern branch of the Elizabeth River using the high-rise bridge. The road then curves northwesterly and ends at Bowers Hill, where it meets both the western terminus of Interstate 264 and the southern terminus of Interstate 664 near the northeastern corner of the Great Dismal Swamp. Route history. Early studies and proposals of the interregional highway system I-64 was to use the U.S. Route 250 alignment west of Richmond. However, in the late 1950s, a number of interested citizens, including Virginia Senator Mosby G. Pero, Jr., proposed that I-64 be realigned to run along U.S. Route 220, U.S. Route 460, State Route 307, and U.S. Route 360 from Clifton Forge via Cloverdale, Lynchburg, and Farmville to Richmond. This southern route was favored by Gov. J. Lindsay Armand, Jr., and most members of the State Highway Commission. The decision was on hold for 3 years while the state continued planning for the piece of the US 250 alignment from Richmond to Short Pump, which would be needed anyway to handle traffic. In 1961, U.S. Secretary of Commerce Luther Hodges rejected that plan and chose the present route, leaving Lynchburg as the largest city in Virginia not served by an interstate. Officially, the chosen route was considered more efficient. However, there is speculation that the decision involved backroom politics of the Kennedy administration. Auxiliary routes. Interstate 64 has 4 auxiliary routes, all of which are in the Hampton Roads area. Interstate 664, a bypass route serving Chesapeake, Suffolk, Newport News and Hampton. Interstate 564, a spur route serving Naval Station Norfolk. Interstate 264, a bypass route serving the Virginia Beach oceanfront, downtown Norfolk and most of Portsmouth, and Interstate 464, a spur route serving the western side of Chesapeake, Portsmouth and downtown Norfolk. Despite being numbered as a bypass route, it never rejoins I-64. Both of the bypass routes are shorter than the main leg for through traffic. I-664 is about 15 miles shorter than the bypass main leg, while I-264 is about a mile shorter than the main leg it bypasses. Future projects. Widening projects. 2 segments on I-64 have been identified as candidates for widening. I-64 on the Virginia Peninsula from New Kent County to Newport News and I-64 in Southampton Roads from the I-464, State Route 168, U.S. 17 interchange in Chesapeake to the Bowers Hill interchange in Suffolk. Peninsula. On the peninsula, most of the I-64 corridor is a 4-lane roadway and is one of the most traveled segments in the region, connecting the Hampton Roads Metro to the Greater Richmond region. In recent years, the corridor has become a major bottleneck for traffic, with over half of the entire 75-mile stretch having failing and near-failing levels of service and continued increased safety concerns. In 2011, VDOT initiated a study that would consider widening the highway with either additional general-purpose lanes in the median and/or on the outside shoulder. adding a two-laned, fully reversible managed lanes, or the addition of full tolling on the entire span. The approved plan selected by VDOT and partners included the plan that added an additional general-purpose lane in each direction by either expanding into the median or on the outside shoulder. In June 2013, the Commonwealth Transportation Board included $100 million in funding for the project in its 6-year improvement program, allowing the project to move forward into the design and build phases. The Hampton Roads Transportation Planning Organization allocated an additional $44 million to segment I of the project to extend the boundaries beyond the Fort Eustis interchange. The project is broken down into 3 operationally independent segments, which are independently funded, designed and built by a different company. Segment I encompasses the portion of I-64 begins west of Route 143, Jefferson Avenue to just east of Route 238, Yorktown Road. Construction on this segment began in September 2015 and is expected to be complete by December 2017. It is being managed by Shirley Contracting Company, LLC, and is expected to cost a total of $122 million. Segment 2 begins 1.05 miles west of Route 199 near exit 242 and ends 0.54 miles east of Route 238 near exit 247, where segment I ends. Construction on this segment is managed by Allen Myers VA LLC and is expected to cost $138 million. Construction is scheduled to begin in the fall of 2016 and be complete by spring 2019. Segment 3 begins approximately 1.0 mile west of Route 199, Newman Road to 1.05 miles west of Route 199, Elsin Parkway, Marquis Center Parkway. No timeline has been set as of yet for this project. South side. Similar to I-64 west of Newport News on the peninsula, VDOT and the HRTPO undertook environmental and preliminary engineering studies for the improvement of the 8-mile, 48-year-old corridor of the I-64 from Interstate 464 in Chesapeake to the Bowers Hill interchange. This included replacing the functionally obsolete high-rise bridge, which was completed 1 year after the study corridor opened in 1969. This study, completed in 2013, showed that the corridor frequently performed at near-failing levels of service, with the high-rise bridge itself outright failing, resulting in higher crash rates when compared to other areas in the region. This is because most of the interchange ramps were built to previous interstate standards and were based on then rural development in the western Chesapeake and eastern Suffolk. In addition, since the start of tolling at the Elizabeth River tunnels, the high-rise bridge and the corridor has received a nearly 7% increase in traffic during peak hours, further exacerbating the problem. In March 2015, the CTB identified and approved of the addition of 2 lanes of capacity in each direction, with the possibility of them being either 2 hot lanes, 1 HOV and AMP, 1 general-purpose lane, or all 4 lanes being tolled. Widening would be accomplished by adding the lanes in the median east of U.S.17 and the outside shoulder west of U.S.17. The approved plan also calls for the construction of a new, 4-lane 135 feet, fixed-span bridge to the south of the current high-rise bridge. Construction will be conducted in multiple phases, similar to the widening project on the peninsula. The first phase of the project would widen I-64 to 6 lanes in each direction by adding the new lane to the median in both directions as a managed lane, begin the construction of the new high-rise bridge, and replace and rehabilitate existing bridge bridges, replace and rehabilitate other existing bridges in area. This segment is estimated to cost around $600 million. The second phase would see all 6 lanes of I-64 shifted to the newly constructed bridge, while the old bridge is demolished and replaced with a new 4-lane bridge that would eventually carry inner loop traffic. The final phase would see the addition of the 4th lanes of traffic added to both directions and the shift of inner loop I-64 west to the newly reconstructed bridge. Once completed, the entire corridor would be an 8-lane stretch of highway, with 2 135 FD fixed-span bridges. Estimated costs for the entire project are currently estimated at $2.30 billion. Currently, only part of first phase of the plan has been funded, which includes preliminary engineering and right-of-way service. A final design for the project is expected in December 2016, and a final contract award date is tentatively scheduled for August 2017. Exit list.